But it's the lies, guys. Amazon Game Studios lied to us about the New World Aeternum launch. It's better, actually, than it ever has been. All those angry PC gamers. I've been beta testing for the last 3 years. You know what's funny about live service games, guys? Whether it's World of Warcraft, that's been going 20 years. EverQuest 2 going for 20 years. Lord of the Rings Online, 17 years. Star Wars Red Republic, 13 years. Elder Scrolls Online, what, a decade? I don't know how long Elder Scrolls Online has been going. Every live service game that has ever been launched evolves over time. So if you take the stance that you were the beta tester for X amount of years, then all of us who have ever played a live service MMORPG were beta testers for those games. Because the current versions of those games are completely different than the launch versions of those games. I mean, looking at, say, well, just pick a game. World of Warcraft has gone through dozens of changes over the years. Classes have changed dramatically. The Hunter as it exists today, as an example, is completely different than the Hunter that launched. You no longer have to do, like, you no longer have to manually feed your pets. You no longer have to, holy crap, get an attack here. You no longer have to go, like, out and find different types of pets to do different things, because they just have the pets as, what is it, ferocity, tenacity, and I forget what the other one is. So the Hunter of today in World of Warcraft is a completely different beast, pun intended, than the Hunter of 20 years ago when World of Warcraft launched. And if you have the stance that the game as it exists today, if your stance is you were the beta tester, then people who have played World of Warcraft for the last 20 years were just beta testers for 20 years, because the War Within, which just launched like a month ago or whatever, that's the current version. And so Blizzard has actively lied to their player base for the last 20 years. Standing Stones Games has lied to the Lord of the Rings Online player base for years. BioWare and EA has been lying to people about Star Wars Red Republic for decades with Star Wars Red Republic, because all of the things that were announced at the beginning of the game no longer exist or have evolved in such a way that they are completely different than the way they were back then. So I've gone back and read through some of the articles. I was just digging through the news posts here on the official New World website, and I even went up and pulled up the 2023 roadmap that New World published. And they show spring, summer, fall, and winter, right? And the big thing that I've heard from the vocal minority who claim that Amazon Studios lied to them about New World is they claim that they were promised these huge updates. And I've looked through and I've seen some mentions of updates coming down the road. And all of those updates happened. I've yet to find a single update that didn't happen. I'm looking through the roadmap here. I've got an article up on the economy balance deep dive from October of 2023. I've got a main story quest update deep dive from February of 2024. I'm looking at the roadmap for 2023. Can I pull this up on? Give me a second here. We're gonna pull this up on stream here so we can see this, so that people don't accuse me of like making this stuff up. So like here's the 2023 roadmap. Season 1, Fellowship and Fire, Season Story, Gear Set Storage, New Expedition, New Heartworn, Seasonal World Events, MSQ Update, Colored Outlines for Enemy, AoEs, PvP, Balance Updates, Season Pass, Summer, Season Story, Transmog, Season Trial, 10-person battle, Sandworm Elite Trial, Raid Groups, Heart Runes, Cross-World Outpost Stretch, Seasonal World Events, Balance Updates, Season Pass, Fall Update, Season 3, MSQ Update, Perk Balance Update, Seasonal World. This is just 2023. All of these things came to fruition. Oh, by the way, this is also the perfect opportunity to say, for all the people out there who claims, this is for the vocal people who say that Amazon Game Studios lied. They never updated the game. They haven't done anything for us. They've been lying to us. There's no new things that have been added to the game. This is just 2023. Do I need to go back and look at 2022 as well? I don't think so, because we all know that many updates were made, many patches were made. And then throughout 2024, they've continued to work on their roadmap stuff and more MSQ stuff. We have the new quest lines, the new storylines. Somebody said the other day, let me see if I can find this really quick. I'm going to go back to the game capture. I don't want to show this until I get it up on screen if I can find it. I got to find the comment now. Someone said on my 50 hours and video, I want to see where he said it. He said something along the lines of, I beat the main story quest in 9 hours. And I'm just, you did not. You did not. I know for a fact you didn't, because just cutscenes alone, there are so many hours of cutscenes in the new MSQ. I'm not seeing it. I get like 300 to 500 comments every day here, so I haven't found it yet. But it's on that 50-hour video where someone claimed that they beat the game in like 9 hours or something. Here it is. Found it. Let me go back over here, make sure I'm not sharing anything I shouldn't be sharing. This guy right here. Oops, I turned the camera off. Woo, wrong button. Here. This guy right here, Johnny Boy 8089 says, I finished the MSQ in 9 hours. I don't know how he's 50 hours in and hasn't finished. Now I'm paywalled from getting level 700 GS items and the new zone and mounts. I'll quit for the time being till Amazon Game Studios stops being greedy with their content. It can't spell worth a damn. I cry bullshit on this. This is absolute malarkey. This is a lie. Bold-faced lie. You did not finish the MSQ in 9 hours. Now, he mentions how he's being paywalled from getting mounts, which means he probably doesn't own the DLC. But even if he's talking about just the main series quest, which is what we're working on right now, we crossed the 50-hour mark yesterday. Yeah, this is a bullshit post. So this is the kind of stuff that you have to watch out for, guys. Because these are the people who will tell you that Amazon Game Studios lied. They'll say things like, Amazon Game Studio is greedy. Amazon Game Studio lied. There's only 9 hours. There's no way you did 50 hours in the MSQ. No way. It's impossible. Frosty says, Brimstone Sands DLC and story is free anyway. Yeah. So, there is a whole bunch of misinformation out there about the game and about Amazon Game Studio. The big thing is that they have a track record, as we looked at with the roadmap, just for 2023. They have a track record of continually pushing out new updates, free updates, constantly in between. There's only been one DLC. There's been one paid DLC, which was for the mounts. Everything else has been free DLCs. The value of what has been added to the game since it's originally launched in its base form 3 years ago on the PC only is amazing. And then all the things that have been added since then to give players free storyline content. And the people out there who say, how dare they charge for horses and how dare they charge for DLCs? Dude, do you know how many DLCs I've paid for over the years between like EverQuest 1, EverQuest 2, Star Wars The Republic, Lord of the Rings Online, World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 1, Guild Wars 2. Well, maybe not Guild Wars 2. I don't think I've done any DLCs for Guild Wars 2, but definitely I did all the DLCs for Guild Wars 1, and I think there was like 3 of them or something. Like, usually DLCs are, you know, an extra 30, 40 bucks. They give you an extra 15, 20 hours of storyline content, some new stuff, some new mounts, other things. Like, how dare Amazon Game Studios lock mounts behind a paywall? Dude, stuff has been locked behind paywalls for decades. That's how game development works. Yeah, the original mounts in World of Warcraft were locked behind a paywall as well. The point is, guys, we're mocking the Reddit trolls again. We're mocking that we were beta testers for 3 years for this bullshit console version. Every live service game evolves over time. The biggest thing about a company publishing a roadmap is that people can look at something and make up whatever they want. And I've talked about this before, but here's a perfect example I'm going to give you. When Starfield launched their first video trailer, and they showed off the ships having a takeoff animation and a landing animation, there were a small amount of people who took that to mean that they were going to be able to manually take off and land their ships. But at nowhere and at no point in time did Bethesda ever say that you were going to be able to manually take off, and land your ships. They just showed a sequence of your ship taking off and landing. And yet some people extrapolated out from that video clip that they were going to be able to manually land and take off their ships like they could do in Elite Dangerous or No Man's Sky, right? And then when the game launched and they couldn't take off and land their ships, and it was an animation sequence, those people went out and said, Bethesda lied. Bethesda lied to us about being able to fly our ships and take off and land and all. And it's like, no one ever said that they did that. Like, that was you making stuff up. So the thing with Amazon Game Studios, it's the same thing. You have a vocal minority who see a roadmap or they read a blog post and they choose to interpret something in their own ways, and they take the developer's words completely out of context, and then they go out on the internet and they make nasty videos about how Amazon Game Studios lied. I was a beta tester for 3 years for this bullshit console version. This is never supposed to happen. They promised me more content. They promised me. They did give you more content. There's a brand new zone. There's a brand new series of cutscenes and animations. There's new gear. There's new mounts. There's tons of new stuff that came with New World Aeternum. On top of which, it came to consoles, so that we now have crossplay, so that we could play like myself on the PS5, or you can play on the Xbox, like Babylonia, you can play on the PC, and everybody gets to play together in the same place. And the fact that they have a 3-year track record is great, because now we've already got people who are coming out and saying, it's a dead game, Jim. It's a dead game. They're never going to update it. They've never updated anything for the past 3 years. They lied about updates. They didn't update. They haven't updated anything. Yes, they have. There's a track record and a roadmap that shows otherwise. There's patch notes. Go to their website. I'm on it right now. It's called newworld.com/news/articles. And you can go back and track every single update that has ever been released in the game. They have done so many updates over the years. It's awesome. So they've already proven that they're going to be updating the game, because they've already been updating the game. And now that they've got it in crossplay, now everybody just needs to sit back and watch them continue to do what they've already been doing, which is grow the company, add more content to this game, and more importantly, work on that Lord of the Rings game they're working on behind the scenes, because I cannot wait for that.